heading up to Little Green Lake. We're going to hook up an F150 that fell through, supposedly in 20 feet of water. We'll see. Temperature is 17 degrees out. Snowing a little bit windy. So there you have it. We'll see how this all works out. So we got out into the location on the lake where the truck had gone through. Justin and his guys had already plowed off the ice in an area. They'd cut a hole big enough to get the truck out of once we got it hooked up. He had another hole cut for me to enter the ice to do the dives, and was in a process of setting up his winches. I had dropped a line down with 3 strobes on it and an anchor and a reel, which would end up about 4 or 5 feet off the bottom. This would give me a point to where the line was, and also give me, I would use the reel to tie off the vehicle when I found it. The visibility was so bad in this area that there was no way I was doing this dive without a rope tether in addition to the reel. So, did this first dive. The vehicle was supposed to be probably about 40 feet away from me. I could not find it. So the truck went down in a soft spot in the ice. The ice was eroding from the warm water from a spring that was coming into the lake. So we could not get really close to the truck. However, I decided to go under the ice and get into that spring area and come back up there and make a plan, because that would be a closer start to where I had to get to find that thing. So I dropped through the hole that the truck had gone through, thinking it would be really directly below me. Got down there, no truck. According to the sonar, I was 6 feet away.
Here we go. He's down to the bottom. He's 6 feet from it. He's coming back up.
So they told me which direction they thought I had to go, and I dropped down again, and this time landed directly on the roof of the truck. So once I was on the truck, I moved around figuring out which way it was pointing. First I moved, the direction I moved at first brought me over the windshield. Turned around, went back over the roof, onto the top of the cap, and finally to the back door of the cap. Finally, I was able to drop down the back of the vehicle and found where the hitch was located. All right, it's a white truck.
Yep, F150. Yeah, that's the one.
All
All right, it's right side up.
Right side up.
Kind of interesting, they can watch me on that sonar and see if I'm coming up or staying down or how close I am or far away I am from the vehicle. Next step was to bring a strap down to tie around that hitch and bring it to the surface, so I had a line going straight down to it. That would just enable me to go up and down without struggling to find exactly where I was trying to go. On this part of the dive, I also went around the sides of the truck and checked out the wheels. The plan was to put a chain around the axle behind the wheel. This truck was sunk so far in the muck, I didn't really think I'd be able to get a chain over and grab it from the other side and get it back up. So now I had a strap tied to the hitch. I brought that to the surface. They hooked a chain on it and secured it to the ice. Next step was to bring the chain down and get that tied off securely to the hitch. So as soon as that excess chain is dropped and hits the silt on the bottom, it creates a giant plume of silt and you can see literally nothing. So I was able to get that chain around pretty much by feel. So when I went back down with that chain and strap, they dropped the other end of the strap in the water, which I didn't quite understand what was going on because suddenly I had all this extra strap. But I was able to get the chain hooked onto the strap and brought the other end of the strap back up to the surface.
The other end of that is hooked onto a chain, which hooked onto the hitch.
Okay.
I have to go down and check it though.
Okay.
So don't lose that.
I'll stand on this.
Okay.
So I wanted to go back down and check that that chain was properly attached to the hitch, and then also untie the other line going up to the surface. I then brought the strap that was tied off to the truck across the spring hole and added another extension to it. Once I had the straps, I had to go back down under the ice in the spring hole where the truck went through and get back to the original hole that they had cut for me where I had originally entered.
I'm not.
They then dragged the truck about 70 feet on the bottom underwater until they got it near the hole where they were going to lift it. They lifted the back up several feet so I could get back in and get the chains around the back wheel. Once those chains were on, they were able to get the hook into those chains and onto the winch and began pulling the truck up. So once the truck came close enough to the surface to see, we could see that it was turned sideways. So I had to go back in, this time without a tank, and get a chain around one of the back wheels so we could turn the truck before we continued pulling it.
I can let it down a little. Yeah, maybe let it down. Keep going.
Once the truck was rotated correctly, we were able to pull it straight up. Justin and his crew used several winches and their experience to get this thing out of the water. Using a jack behind the back wheel, lifted the truck up so the back wheel could get started above the ice. As soon as they were able to, they got a door open and got the rest of the water out of the truck to cut down on the weight. The front of the truck is lifted a little bit to let the front wheels now get on top of the ice. Nice looking Ford until it went through the ice. 3 guys were in it. They had to get out of the windows. They couldn't get the doors open as it was going down. I don't think they hit the water. I think they got out of the windows fast enough to just get on the ice. Another successful retrieval by Justin and crew.